What's up, everyone? Today we are going to be looking at some common mistakes that have been made on my part and in general when it comes to AFK companions. Some of these things are going to be pretty similar to common mistakes you'll see in AFK Arena, while other things are a little more unique to companions itself. So just kind of jumping right into it, the first thing that I would point out is not using your purple essence right away. Like in AFK Arena, you kind of want to just push and push and push and push as far as you can until you absolutely cannot move any farther, and then use this to then level up your characters. You know, if you just use things as soon as you get it, and this includes all resources, but your purple essences or your hero essence is really the most rare or hard to find thing compared to the coins and your XP chest. So I would say make sure you're pushing your campaign, your King's Tower, and then don't forget about the Forked Fate too. Make sure you're trying to push those as far as you can before using any of your resources, but specifically your purple essence. Tying into this, you also want to make sure that you're buying purple essence whenever you can. If you go to the store, you will have purple essence available right here. And then that is the only spot I believe for right now where you can get it. But make sure you are buying that every time the shop refreshes, because that is a resource that you'll basically need for a long, long time. The next thing that I have seen other players do is not updating your arena teams. So as you progress, you're going to have your defense settings and your defense units change. You're going to have better units that work better than arena than in campaign. And so you're going to want to make sure that you're updating this as often as you can. Like right now, I don't know if I should have her in. I should probably consider putting him in, or even maybe just getting rid of my bonus and just putting him in, just because, yeah, you never know which one will be better depending on the formations. But you want to make sure you're updating it. So a lot of times you'll be kind of just playing, forgetting about it, and your team might look something like this, where it's just like outdated. You don't have these units anymore, or you haven't really upgraded them, put a lot into them. They might even have equipment on. So you want to make sure you're doing that. Same goes with your pet. Make sure you have your best pet in slot on your defense, because why this is so important is because if you look at your rewards for arena, the ranking is pretty substantially different between ranks. So if you're 51 to 100, you get 15,000 coins. But if you can get in that top 50, you get 24. You get 9,000 more coins, and that really adds up over time. And if you're really feeling good and you have a really solid team, you could even get in the top 10 to get that 36,000. But if you're just leaving your defense kind of whatever, not updating things, you'll end up in the 101 to 500 range, the 51 to 100 range, and you're just not going to get as much bang for your buck. And this is one of the best shops that we have available. Actually, probably is the best shop at this point. And so you want to make sure you're getting as many of these coins as possible. And when you ignore your arena team, you are really not helping out with in progressing in the arena and getting as many coins as possible. This also includes this area. You want to make sure you are trying to move up as much as possible. Obviously, there are some teams that are just going to be a lot stronger than you. Like, I could not beat this team right now. I can't beat this one. I might be able to beat this one. And it just might be easy just to do a quick battle, use all your things real quick, and then be done. But you want to make sure that you are refreshing, seeing if there's any teams that seem beatable, challenge them, and trying to move up in the ranks. Because if you just kind of sit there, you're going to slowly decrease in rank, and then you'll get less coins over time. So make sure you're doing your arena. It doesn't take that much time, but it can have a lot of rewards. You even get a lot of diamonds from arena too, so definitely worth the investment in time. Same goes for the Dream Realm. Make sure you're doing your Dream Realm. Make sure that you are doing as many attempts as you can every day. You can spend 50 more just to get those extra 5 attempts, but it's really not worth it, because you're gonna probably get through the first 5, and then you'll either get 1 or 2 more, but you probably won't be able to push 5 more floors right away. You see at this one, I used all 5. I haven't challenged floor 6 yet, but I will next time it comes around. The rewards are pretty good. As you can see, there's some scrolls. There's some shards and stuff like that, and it keeps going up and up. And so you want to make sure that you are kind of pushing as far as you can. Similar to the arena, there's also a lot of chests and rewards based on your ranking, and so you want to make sure that you are doing as much as you can to move up on these rankings. So don't forget to do your dream realms, because it's super important to keep up with that, because a lot of people don't, and it's an easy way to get some free resources. Next thing, and I've mentioned this in my other video about the shop, is that to make sure you aren't wasting your diamonds on things like gear or the emblems for the weapons. But I mean, the gear is really the stuff that's really just a total waste. Even if it doesn't cost diamonds, like you don't want to use your guild tokens on the gear. You want to use it on this stuff up here. So make sure you aren't wasting it on things that just aren't necessary, or that you will get a lot as you just play the game more often. And gear is one of those things where you just kind of naturally get it. You don't need like 50 copies of every single thing. You can equip and unequip things without a penalty. It just it makes sense to not spend your diamonds on that stuff. And so the last thing I want to mention for now is, and this is with the Beast Grounds, because Beast Grounds is so new, it looks different. You want to make sure that you are doing the Beast Grounds effectively and efficiently. And so one thing you're going to want to look at is whenever you go to capture a beast, don't prioritize these guys. The orb guys, which I guess you would call them, except for he's not called an orb for some reason. He's Tuffy Ears, but the orbs, I wouldn't prioritize these when you are trying to capture them. You know, early on, it might be nice if like a legendary orb pops up. You're like, okay, like I'll try to get that one. That's not, I guess, as harmful. But, you know, focus on some of these units like Ice Crown. Bell Bellow is definitely the best pet at this point in the game, along with Flutterplume Owl. These two are the ones you're really going to want to focus on. But even like Shroom Spooter, the Feline, stuff like that. So you want to focus on the guys that just aren't circle blobs, because these ones have more abilities, better benefits. One thing that is also important to note is that if you look at the abilities of every pet in the game, they all have an ability that is specific to a faction. So with Bellow, she is, or he, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but they have an ability that is specifically for wilder heroes. Flutterplume is for light bearers. I believe this one is for hypogens and celestials. Yep. Even these guys have like specific ones. Maulers. Wilder. Yep. So that's one thing to keep in mind is with the pets, they are specific to certain factions. That doesn't mean you can't use certain pets with other factions, but it's just a benefit to keep in mind, especially as you're climbing the faction towers. This can be really helpful to use pets that are specifically beneficial for that faction. So I would make sure that you are focusing on capturing things that aren't the orbs, unless it is obviously like a legendary or like a mythic one that pops up, which is pretty rare. But make sure you're focusing on the correct pets and not just kind of going for ones that you have a lot of copies of already, or ones that maybe like a higher level, because in the long run, it's not going to be as beneficial if you just get a bunch of orbs and then you're kind of just stuck with them. And so that's my last tip for things to not overdo or mistakes not to make in AFK Arena Companions. So far, I've had a lot of fun with this game. It has been just kind of rejuvenating because of the main game just being really heavy. Just like, I just basically go through my task every day and I just don't do anything else, because it's just kind of like there's no end goals anymore. It just feels like, unless I want to spend money to collect things, there's just nothing else to do. But I feel it's good to actually be progressing in all these different areas. I love the addition of the Fork Fate. It's nice to have like a second campaign basically that gives you slightly different rewards, and also just kind of going up the Knight's Tower again is nice because it just feels good progressing. Because at this point in my main account, I just am barely moving up these. I don't touch these for a long time, and so It's just been really fun to play Companions. I've really been enjoying it. And so if you haven't played it yet, I definitely encourage you to play it. If you want to send me a friend request in game, feel free to do so. I think my friends list is still not full yet. And so, yeah, feel free to send me a request in game. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe and like and comment for future videos.